ACCA, the world's most forward-thinking professional accountancy body.
Pressure in the workplace can take many forms, and our ability to deal with it can vary. This might be down to how resilient we're feeling at any particular point in time, but it can also depend on our character, our personal foibles. In this series of podcasts, business psychologist and coach Jess Baker tackles 3 areas where people might struggle to cope with pressure: being able to prioritize, being assertive, and managing oversensitivity. Continue listening to hear tips on how we can manage ourselves better to achieve more positive outcomes.
Just the other day, I had a call from one of my friends who is a human resources director. She's an utterly lovely person who is committed to her career and who struggles to say no to her boss, the CEO. On our call, she told me how she is working an 11-hour day and most weekends, and it's proving physically and emotionally costly to her. She knows she's being taken for granted and is getting little in return. Yet despite this, she still doesn't feel comfortable to push back or say no. Many of us struggle to be assertive, especially when the other person is senior to you in the organisation, or especially when that person really seems to need our help. In this podcast, I'm going to look at why we sometimes struggle to assert ourselves, the circumstances when we should be more assertive, and how to do this in a constructive, non-confrontational way. So first, let's define assertiveness. It's the ability to express your needs and opinions, standing up for your rights while respecting the rights of others. I think it's important to make the distinction between assertiveness and aggressiveness. Let's say a senior colleague keeps giving you work that you think they should be doing. They send you a constant stream of emails with new tasks for you to do. You're already busy with your own workload, and it frustrates you that you won't be getting any credit for your effort. But because they are senior, you just quietly comply. Do you recognise yourself or your colleagues in this? It's all too common. Let's say one day you decide to react. Do you say, "I'm sick of you dumping your work onto my desk. You act like you are more important than me, but you're a bully who expects to get everything your own way. I'm so stressed out and tired, working all the hours. Is your ego so inflated that you just assume you can take all the credit for my hard work? Well, I'm done with that." Or do you say, "I'm not sure if you realise, but all the work you keep giving me is beginning to build up, and I don't have time to do my own job as well as I'd like to. I spend long hours working and even sometimes at weekends, which goes against the company policy. I appreciate that you trust me to do a good job, and I don't want to let you down, but I think it would be useful for both of us to talk about managing workload and expectations." You can hear the difference. In the first response, I'm expressing my emotions, anger, rage, frustration, and making lots of assumptions and accusations about the senior colleague. This response isn't going to help forge a healthier working relationship, and it's not in your favour to act unprofessionally. Let's look at why saying yes to requests is often the default position. Why do you say yes? Well, I think there are a number of different reasons. First of all, it might be because you want to be liked. Hands up if you consider yourself a people pleaser. As children, we were socialised to respect our elders, be polite and considerate. Some of us were taught that other people's needs are more important than our own, and we were praised when we accommodated other people's wishes. Or it might be that you say yes for the good of your professional development. Perhaps you see every request as a chance to develop new skills. Perhaps you've been told to raise your profile at work and become more visible so you get considered for future promotions. Saying yes to your boss can feel like the easiest way to do this. And then there's the need to be needed. You might secretly like being the person your boss comes to, the idea that they couldn't survive without you. It's a sign that you are trusted to do a good job, and you feel safer if you can feed the belief that you are indispensable. If you're finding it difficult to say no, it could be a sign that you're experiencing the super helper syndrome. This is a compulsion to help others, even at the cost of neglecting your own needs. If that's you, then it's the result of some deeply held beliefs about why you should help everyone and why your own needs don't matter. It's by unpacking those beliefs that you can change your whole mindset about helping. Then you can learn to protect your own boundaries without feeling guilty. That's the bigger project. But for now, I'm going to suggest some tactics for you to build the courage to push back in a respectful manner. First of all, you should explain how you feel. Is it possible your boss doesn't even know they are asking too much of you? If you haven't been communicating assertively, they can't be expected to know. If your boss is a reasonable person, explain your predicament, remind them that you take pride in your work and that you want to be helpful. Then tell them that taking on this much impacts the quality of what you deliver. On the other hand, if your boss is a tyrant, you either need to stand up to them or acknowledge that they're unlikely to change. That leaves you with two choices, either to put up with it or quit. There are a number of really good ways to push back. For example, you can start by actively listening to their perspective. Use their words in your response to demonstrate you've understood. I appreciate that you need this done by noon, for example. You could say what you think or how you feel in response. I'd like to help you with this, but I have other work to focus on this morning. In addition, you can offer an alternative solution. I will be able to help you out first thing tomorrow morning, or is there anyone else that could help you? And try to avoid taking responsibility for finding that someone else. You could think about how to buy time, saying something like, I'll need to check with my colleague first, then I'll get back to you. Or you could say, if you still need my help next Wednesday, I'll have the capacity to help you then. You should always try to remain calm. Repeat your position if necessary, and without apology, because you've done nothing wrong. This final tactic is to believe it yourself. If you believe what you are saying without feeling guilty, it will all be more authentic, and others will take you more seriously. While saying yes to requests for help can benefit your career or self-esteem in the short term, it's pretty clear that most of the other consequences for you are negative. You are the one who ends up suffering. It might help you to remember one thing when you are next being asked for help. Your ultimate responsibility is not to your boss, not your employer, not your team. It is to yourself, looking after your own needs, protecting your own boundaries and asserting your human rights. Because if you aren't doing these things, who is going to? Learning to be assertive and protecting your boundaries takes time and practice and courage. You have to start getting used to meeting your own needs first. You need to build up your confidence and the belief that you have rights. Your behaviour has to match what you feel inside, otherwise you'll crumble at the first pushback from others when you try to assert yourself. They'll be able to tell that you don't really have faith in yourself. So for this reason, you might want to practice in a safe environment, with close family and friends first, rather than tackling your mortal enemy on day one. I hope you found these tips useful. Listen up for other podcasts in my series for ACCA members, where I discuss how to be better at prioritising and what to do if you're sometimes oversensitive.
This podcast was brought to you by ACCA. Find out how we think ahead at accaglobal.com.